Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into topic 5, which focuses on the absolutely critical cleanup phase of building external timber stairs. So, you've done the math, you've cut your stringers, you've locked down the treads. Awesome. But as we're about to see, driving in that final bolt? Yeah, that is not the end of the story. To all you future tradespeople studying at Genesis International College, consider this your definitive summary guide to a fundamental industry truth. The physical build is really only half the job. Mastering your tools is essential, absolutely. But mastering your site management? Well, that's what's going to make you a highly respected professional in this trade.
So, here's our roadmap for today. We'll be walking through a professional's end-of-day workflow, covering the professional cleanup, removing site hazards, managing site waste, environmental protection controls, and finally, servicing your tools.
Let's jump straight into Section 1, the professional cleanup. Truly, this is the defining habit of a great tradesperson.
You know the old saying, right? The job isn't done until the site is clean. Stepping back and admiring a perfectly leveled timber staircase feels incredible, but your job isn't officially over yet. You've got strict professional obligations mandated by WHS and EPA laws, and they demand a rigorous, systematic cleanup to close out the work. Look, leaving a messy site isn't just unprofessional, it is a massive legal liability.
Moving right along to Section 2, removing site hazards, which is basically a tactical operation. When dealing with hazards, PPE is non-negotiable. You absolutely need a P2 respirator when you're kicking up fine sawdust. And here's a pro tip. When you start clearing debris, always work from the top of the stairs down to the ground. Why? Because you never want to walk back over areas you've already cleaned. It prevents slips and keeps the site looking pristine. Make sure you collect every single offcut. Oh, and if the stairs are still wet from a non-slip coating, or there's a temporary drop-off, you've got to secure that area with safety tape or warning signs right away.
That brings us to Section 3, managing site waste. Remember, this isn't just a suggestion, it's an enforceable law.
You can't just toss building materials wherever you feel like it. There are 3 main tiers of mandates you have to follow. First, state environment laws dictate the big picture pollution controls. Second, you've got local council rules for construction and demolition, or C&D waste, which usually means separating recyclables so we aren't just jamming landfills full of junk. And third, you have to follow your specific site's waste management plan, or WMP. That plan tells you exactly which skip bins to use for what.
The name of the game here is waste segregation. You simply cannot throw everything into one giant pile. For instance, treated timber has to be completely isolated from recyclables like metals. Why? Well, treated timber is packed with harsh chemicals to stop rot and termites. If it accidentally ends up in a general recycling pile and gets burned later on, it releases incredibly toxic smoke right into the atmosphere. Segregating these materials at the source, that falls squarely on your shoulders.
On top of that, you need to bag up general debris and collect any dangerous items separately. Most professional sites use a really handy color-coded tub system to make this easy. If you sort your materials into these tubs as you go, literally keeping things tidy while you work, loading the big skip bins at the end of the shift becomes an absolute breeze. It's all about working smarter, not harder, all while staying fully compliant.
Let's look at Section 4, environmental protection controls and how we protect local ecosystems.
Now here's a stark contrast that you Genesis students really need to lock in. An amateur, they might grab a hose and wash a pile of sawdust right down a street drain, thinking, hey, it's just wood. No way. That is highly illegal and can wreck local water systems. Professionals operate under a strict zero-harm policy using dry clean methods. We're talking HEPA filter vacuums to safely trap those fine particles, or lightly misting the dust with a spray bottle before sweeping so it doesn't go airborne. You should also be throwing down sediment socks or drain covers to guarantee absolutely zero debris leaves your site.
But look, accidents happen even on the best sites. Say a chemical adhesive or a timber sealer springs a leak, you've got to instantly execute this 3-step emergency protocol. Step 1, contain it immediately with a spill kit or dry sand before it can soak into the soil. Step 2, clean it up by shoveling that contaminated sand into a sealed, clearly labeled bag. And Step 3, dispose of it legally in a dedicated hazardous waste bin. Whatever you do, never, ever try to wash a chemical spill into the grass or down a drain.
Finally, we reach Section 5, servicing your tools with a consistent pack-up routine.
You really can't just toss a circular saw into a toolbox and call it a day. Proper tool care demands a consistent routine. First, wipe away surface debris and dissolve any of those sticky sap residues from your blades. Sap causes friction, which burns the wood and totally dulls your blade. Next, check your motor vents. You've got to clear out packed sawdust. Sawdust basically acts like a thermal blanket, so if those vents get blocked, your motor will overheat and burn out in no time. And finally, just add a quick drop of oil to lubricate the moving parts and keep corrosion at bay overnight.
Before you lock it all away, run a rigorous mental and physical checklist for wear and tear. Examine the physical integrity of your tools. Look for cracks in plastic housings or split timber handles, because those are basically ticking time bombs for a failure under load. Inspect your electrical safety by running your hands down the power cords to feel for any frays or exposed wire. Crucially, double-check those mechanical safety features. Spring-loaded blade guards should snap back smoothly and instantly. Check for loose fasteners, and verify that your measuring tapes and squares are actually still legible and accurate. If anything, and I mean anything, fails this checklist, tag it out immediately so it doesn't cause a nasty accident tomorrow.
And that brings us to a final thought for you to reflect on as you master Topic 5. We've covered WHS laws, waste segregation, and tool maintenance. But ultimately, you have to ask yourself, is your true skill as a future carpenter measured merely by the stairs you build, or is it actually defined by the unyielding professional discipline you show when restoring the site? Honestly, anybody can cut a piece of wood. But a true professional respects the site, respects the environment, and respects their tools enough to leave things better than they found them. Keep that in mind the next time you're packing up for the day. Thanks for joining me on this Explainer Genesis, students, and I'll catch you in the next one.